I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe.
Up, everybody? It's Monday night, and we are here for another episode of The Table Spot. My name is Metal Mike, and I'm joined here, as always, with the Alpha Wolf, Sean, and the man with the best beard in the business, Cam. Gentlemen, how are y'all doing tonight?
Man, what? Yo, that was the best Raw probably they're gonna do all year. Like, it was wild. Like, Raw wasn't just cooking tonight. They were absolutely deep frying. Like, it was great. Great show.
You are starting off hot. You just got right into it. I'm still going to ask the question tonight, but you're getting right into it. Sean, how you doing tonight? How's your Monday night going?
I'm doing great after that Monday Night Raw, man. After that last segment, oh my Lord. Jesus Christ, bro. I was in shock.
We already got opinions in the chat. Shadow coming in saying coldest effing debut, re-debut ever. We're going to get into it. Dad Hat coming in, the destruction and the chaos of the reveal. Perfect. Guys, we're going to get into it. Let's just get right into it. Monday Night Raw taking place in Corpus Christi tonight. We're going to kick it off. They're here. Let's get into it. Now, gentlemen, we get a Money in the Bank qualifying match, triple threat match. After the match, we're going to talk about that match a little later on in the show. But after that match, Jey Uso celebrating in the crowd, as always, after a win. And the lights go out. And the same door that we seen back in July of 2022 in Philadelphia at Extreme Rules shows up in the entranceway. The big blinding light. You get the lantern on the ground. The door opens. And the piano starts playing. Just that single tone. Ding, ding. That's it. That's all we get. And we see this form start crawling out from the door. And picks up the lantern. And then we get backstage. And we just see the chaos that ensued in the backstage area. Chad Gable was laid out. We've seen characters. We've seen Rambling Rabbit. Gentlemen, we get the re-debut of Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt family. I like how they bought the notes to Shatter but didn't play it. Well, here's the thing is this was just the re-debut. This was just a little piece of what we've been getting for the past few weeks, months. QR codes, hints, pictures, videos, everything. And it all came down to tonight. Got to go back and rewatch, but when we seen the destruction in Gorilla, Braun Strowman was there, but when Howdy came through, he isn't. I don't know if it's connected, but interesting. I mean, we're going to have to find out, but gentlemen, I'm going to bring up a picture. This is what we were left with at the end of the show tonight. this image right here.
That is horrifying.
I said it to you guys before we got started. This is a horror movie being brought to life. A horror movie being brought to life. Now, we talked about this image off camera, and one of the comments that I made, I know would probably be questionable to others. They would probably be like, Mike, your comment ruins. I don't feel like my comment, number one, would ruin anything on what I said off of one of these things in this picture. But guys, your thoughts on this. I want to get your first thoughts. Before we get into the thoughts, though, I got to say this. I want to thank everybody coming in the chat tonight. Shadow, Dad Hat, appreciate y'all being in. Anybody else who's watching live tonight, thank you for coming in. I want to remind y'all to go over to Rivet City Radio and off the Top Media's Twitch and YouTube channels. Hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on. Check out all the great content going on throughout the network, like the table spot here tonight. We got NXT on tap tomorrow night. The Boom, hosted by Mr. Cam, on Wednesday nights, right after AEW Dynamite. Rivet City Red Zone, Botch and Chair Shot. So much more going on throughout the network. So make sure to head over and hit the follow and subscribe button. Turn those notifications on. Also, patreon.com/Rivet City Radio. Check out the great content going on over there. Promise it will not break your bank. So, gentlemen, your first initial thoughts on this image, on what we've seen tonight with this, we'll call it the re-debut of the Wyatt family, Uncle Howdy, and all the characters brought to life. Cam, let's start with you.
Oh, man. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, I wasn't really sure how they were going to do it. I kind of figured, they were going to pretty much wait till the end of the show. What better way to close out the show than to do it like that? But man, it wasn't so much an entrance for them. Like I was explaining this to Sean off stream, that it was basically like just in an almost, I can't even explain it, but almost like a mini movie, almost just a mini movie of like just destruction that they left in their wake, and that's just so dope. And it's so cool to see like each character and like sort of play a part before they all came out, and we got this image before Raw goes off the air. So I'm loving it, man. To me, my favorite look, like with costume and mask, I think that's Gacy. Yeah, Joe Gacy, because he's got, it's like a combination of like the Fiend and a combination of the Buzzard. So I love that mask. I love how that looks. To me, that's my favorite one. That one's just sick. But overall, like this was amazing. I'm just I'm struggling to find the words to describe how great this was.
I mean, I will say this. Yeah, and Shadow, gonna get into to who the characters are. We got Gacy, we got Dexter Lumis, we got Eric Redbeard, definitely Nikki Cross, and we got Bray's brother in there as well as Uncle Howdy. These are the rumored individuals who are supposed to be these characters. And yes, we're missing one. And the other rumored one is Alexa Bliss. But during the watch along tonight, something was said that kind of made sense to me. And the whole Wyatt 6 thing. And I forget who mentioned it. It was either Will or Scowls, one of the two said it, that Bray is the 6th. And that made sense to me. I was like, okay, no, that definitely makes sense to me. It does. Now, Sean, I'm going to get your thoughts in a second, but my cousin, Will, said that. Thank you, Scouts. I appreciate you filling me in on that. I was going to say, one of you guys said it. And it made sense to me. It really did. My cousin, who is a huge WWE fan, texted me and said that this was worth the wait. Not only just through tonight, but through the past couple months of getting the QR codes, the videos, the audios, all the stuff that we got leading up to tonight. And I'll say this. I made the comment that off air, and I'll say this. The outfit that Eric Redbeard is in, it's kind of a playoff of almost everything that he's done in his career in WWE so far because of him being back. His Wyatt family stuff with his old masks being a sheep. Now he's in the rabbit suit. The sledgehammer is a little bit of a play with his outfit, almost a little bit of a play. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people didn't like this tag team, but gave me a little bit of a reminder of the Bludgeon Brothers. So it's almost like they're paying respect to not only Bray, but Brody, because he was in the Bludgeon Brothers with Brody. It's almost like a little bit in my eyes. I'm not saying that's a full thing, but a little bit of a thought like, oh my gosh, could they be, paying the respect of both? That was my first thought. This was worth it, yes, but now the real work started. I agree with that. And yeah, it was definitely a tribute. I appreciate the fact that you agree with me, Scouts, because me and you get into some deep discussions about stuff. And thank you for agreeing with me, because I kind of just had that feeling. But Sean, I'm sorry, I'll stop babbling. Your thoughts on everything that led up to this.
I told y'all
your first initial thoughts.
I told y'all off stream that fucking Nikki Cross looks disgusting in a good way, in like a horror movie way. You look at her and it's disgusting, and I like how they did that. She looks fucking freaky. Like the way she was crawling out to the ring, like she was out of the movie The Ring, or crawling out to the entrance like she's out of the movie The Ring. That girl. And I told y'all, if they come out with replicas of the masks, I hope they do like they did Uncle Howdy. I really want fucking Mercy and Ramblin' Rabbit's mask, because those are mwah. The pig mask is all right. It's not the best out of all of them, but this debut was just. I joked I was in a live, and I was like, "Oh my god, they killed Chad, you bastards!" I literally said that. They killed Chad, you bastards. But I noticed that they also attacked Gunther in the back. I got sent a photo that they attacked Gunther. He was laying down in there, and I think Ludwig was laying. So they really said
that I did.
They really did what they said and left a massacre. Like,
some in the chat, Shadow says that Nikki reminded him of the Ring Girl. I can agree with that too. Scal said 100%. I can agree with that too. It reminded you of the girl from The Ring. But she looked amazing. Amazing. And if we are going to get a physical sixth character in Alexa Bliss, I'm excited to see what we're going to get from her. Yeah. Paid attention to the last note of the clue. CG was the clue. This was, and you guys know this. There's going to be a lot of positivity and a lot of negativity on this. The internet is going to probably be 50-50 on this, because yeah, we probably expected, stuff to probably happen throughout the night, other than video packages like videos and stuff like that. Probably expected people to get attacked or anything. I mean, Scowls made that comment too of possibly seeing people getting attacked throughout the night and everything like that. I mean, did I expect it? I kind of did. I'll say that I kind of did. It just aside from us getting the videos to lead up to this, I thought we were going to get some attacks and stuff too. At least seeing people being laid out.
Can I just add that I'm actually more excited for this than when like Bray really initially did his first thing. I loved what Bray did in this first iteration, but this with the actual characters coming to life, I want to see the destruction that they'll have. I want to see what they're going to do. I'm excited to watch Raw every week now.
Cam, you said that this reminded you of like a mini movie. I agree with you to an extent. This I was gonna say this was kind of like a trailer to what we're gonna get. Mini movie trailer, same thing. This is basically like this is what's coming. And now, like we got this tonight. Now they're going to have to deliver. And right now, I'm gonna say this: I have 100% believability that these 5 right here, and if we're getting a 6th person, is going to make this worth everything. Everything.
Yeah, I totally agree with that for sure. Absolutely.
I think so. I think yes, Jamie. Yes, I think they will deliver too. They will not do this wrong. They won't, because I think they know that if they do this wrong, they are going to get a lot of heat.
Triple H is going to let everything happen more than Vince McMahon.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, you cut off a little bit.
I said Triple H will allow everything to happen more than Vince McMahon ever did.
Well, I mean, even that's the thing, is even if he was in charge, I think he would know that he would have to do this very delicately. This would have to be a planned out thing. And this, like it was said in the chat, that this does not have to be just a Raw thing. This has to go over to SmackDown. Hell, I would even say this could end up showing up on NXT. We can end up seeing some of this on NXT as well. This could be an all through the company thing, and they can do it right. Agreed, Shadow. They would mess up his legacy so bad if they mess this up. They need to, as hot as they might go with this thing, they got to do this very delicately, and they have to strategize. Strategy is the key word with this whole thing. And that's why, yes, some people might have been upset with how we got this tonight. But overall, you got to think, this was perfect. Give us just the introduction on what they did tonight. That's all we needed to get. Because now, from here, they can start planning whether we're going to get something next week, hell, as soon as tomorrow, or as soon as Friday, or next week. Plan it out. Hell, even take it to Money in the Bank in 2 weeks.
Mike.
Yes.
I'm checking Twitter to get the reactions and stuff.
Sean, you don't have to raise your hand like we're in grade school.
Sorry.
Well,
I saw reaction. I'm getting reactions from Twitter and stuff. I'm not going to say who, but someone in the community brought up a good point. Posting a picture of Chad with his head bloody and the caption, "Don't turn your back on family." So the way Chad Gable turned his back on Alpha Academy is probably why they're saying don't turn your back on family.
And Scows, I'm not saying one in particular person being upset. I'm just saying there's probably people out there that were not happy with the way this reintroduction was tonight. There probably is. I'm not saying there is, but I'm saying probably. The key word, probably. There might be some people out there that aren't happy about this.
There is. I'm already seeing it. So,
but here's the thing: is this was done amazingly. This is all we needed. We didn't need anything else tonight, because they need to play this out very perfectly, especially for the legacy of Wyndham. That's my opinion. Other people are going to have their own opinion, and that's fine. My opinion is they need to play this out very delicately, and they need to strategize. Keyword, strategy. So there's at least 2 creators I know that are using this for the clicks, and I want to, oh man.
Wow.
Well, we just put this up to start the show off tonight because we weren't going to go through a whole episode of Raw and talk about a whole episode of Raw. just to get to this point. We were getting right into this. This is what
We're
were
the trendy podcast, and we're getting on the views tonight. Yeah. Using it for clicks. Like it.
And this isn't even in the title of our show tonight. The title of our show is Raw Reactions and Clash at the Castle Fallout. This isn't even in the title of the show.
Mike, I'm gonna send something to the podcast group chat that I just saw.
Well, we're going to continue on with the show. So, but we got this tonight, guys. Amazing, awesome. And final thought, I'm looking forward to see what they do next. Raw can be a very tough thing to get through sometimes, especially with it being a 3-hour show. Sometimes it can drag on. Sometimes it can be, exciting. Sometimes it could just be like, oh my gosh, another night of Raw. Tonight, the expectancy of this and getting this in the last 3 minutes just made the night. If Raw did not satisfy anybody tonight, if nothing else on this show satisfied, this had to be the thing. This had to be. Why it's 6. Okay, SICKS. That's awesome. I like that. Instead of using the number 6, SIX, SICK. I love it. But gentlemen, we're going to get into Raw. We're going to get into Raw tonight. Raw took place in Corpus Christi, Texas. We are 2 weeks away from Money in the Bank. Now, we had a PLE this past weekend. A little PLE called Clash at the Castle. And we're going to talk a little bit about Clash at the Castle tonight. We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to kind of mix things up a little bit. We're going to talk about things on Raw, but we're also going to talk about what we've seen at Clash at the Castle.
This might be a long show.
No. Nah.
Buckle up.
No. Because we're gonna talk about everything that happened. I mean, hey, you guys want to talk about Clash at the Castle as well as Raw tonight?
I thought Clash was fantastic, so I'm down.
Well, let's get into that first. Overall thoughts on Clash at the Castle, and instead of running down Clash at the Castle, let's give our overall thoughts. That way we can move on with Monday Night Raw. Let's do that. So, Cam, your overall thoughts on Clash at the Castle, your takeaways from Clash at the Castle, and what would you grade?
Man, like I said, I talked about this on my own page on TikTok, and I felt like it was their best program that they've put on, their best PLE they've put on probably this year, probably since Mania. It's the shock value, right? We always talk about they need to mix things up. They need to have things not be so predictable. And I think they accomplished just that. I didn't see, the Unholy Union. I didn't see them going in there and winning the titles like they did. And they did. That shocked me. I didn't see, I could have swore up and down that Drew was walking out with that championship. Now, the way they did the CM Punk. Well, first of all, when I heard about how CM Punk was there earlier, like that day, I was like, oh no. so I saw CM Punk getting involved in that match after I had seen that, right? But it wasn't just your typical he got involved, right? The ref gets knocked out. He comes out in a ref shirt, 1, 2, and then just stops counting. I thought that was brilliant. Now, a part of me was upset about, like, I can't believe they didn't give Drew the title. But then I stopped and I thought about it. And I said, this just adds more fuel to the fire with Drew and CM Punk. And they don't need a championship involved because that's not how it started. It just started out as Drew just being a hater because he could not stand CM Punk being back in the company. That's how that started. That's how it's going to be. That feud doesn't need a championship. I think that feud's bigger than the title right now. So, and then we'll talk about what happened with Drew in the show later on. But yeah, that was also amazing as well. Yeah, like I said, just overall, like the show I thought was great. They mixed things up. They're keeping you guessing. They're keeping us on our toes. So it's going to make Money in the Bank that much harder to try to make predictions for, because now it's like I don't know what they could do, you know. So I thought it was great overall, and then my overall grade, I give it a B+.
I went into the world title match already knowing what happened, thanks to social media, because by the Cam, I texted you while I was watching the show. It was about 9:30 at night when I was getting into the second match of the show, because I worked on Saturday and I had to watch the replay. I stayed off social media all day up until the point I started watching the show. Then stupid me thinks, why am I on social media right now? I'm going to see nothing but clips. But the only thing I seen clips of was CM Punk perfectly ref sliding. I mean, I think he slid in there better than a referee does. I mean, I just wanted to yell safe. I did. I just wanted to yell safe because that was perfect. I was upset about it too. I was a little upset about it too. Pure Schools, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. I was upset about it too because I thought Drew was going to walk out with the title, but like you, I said to myself, you know what? This they don't need a title for this feud. They don't. And if you go into the post-show interviews and comments, especially what Wade Barrett said, he added more fuel by saying CM Punk needs to be fired. This is the second time he ruined a world title match. And then you have Triple H sitting there saying, you know, CM Punk, every time we see him eating donuts and muffins and stuff, man, that guy has so much time to eat all these stuff. I'm like, man, CM Punk's getting more hate from the guys he works with than the crowd in Scotland. Because that crowd was loving him. They were. But, Sean, your overall thoughts on Clash at the Castle, your takeaways. What did you think of the show?
One, they were not loving CM Punk at all.
Did you see the video online? All the pictures he was taking with everybody.
Did you see them booing the shit out of afterwards? Saying bullshit.
They were loving him.
But I'm gonna say I was ecstatic that CM Punk cost Drew McIntyre. One, because I predicted CM Punk would screw Drew McIntyre. I'm just throwing that out there. I was the one that said CM Punk was going to interfere.
I want to ask you a question. Where this horn that you toot almost every week, where did you buy this horn, and how expensive was this thing? Last week it was, I'm in Vegas and I get to meet everybody, and now this week, I predicted CM Punk was going to get involved. Freaking hey, man.
To be fair, I don't know why I didn't predict my unholy union winning on her, but anyways, that's besides the point. Clash was great, other than I wish they would have gave the title to Chad Gable. I don't know.
Same.
It just made so much more sense. But where they're going, and we'll talk about that later, is more. It's getting exciting. I'll say that. So for me, Clash was a high C. Okay. And I'm not talking about the drink, folks.
I'm not going to comment. But anyways, the first match to kick off Clash of the Castle was amazing. I Quit match was really good. Loved it.
That should have main evented. I'm sorry.
Banger.
They were not going to put Drew McIntyre in the beginning or the middle of that show.
I know that, but
that was not going to happen. Come on.
No.
That should have. I agree with you. That should have main evented. That match could have main evented if they were anywhere else but Scotland. But yes, there was no way they were putting Drew McIntyre on first or in the middle of the show.
They need to start calling Cody Rhodes instead of the American Nightmare. They need to start calling him the International Nightmare. Right. He's like more over there than he is here.
Right. And just the end of the match, like the bell rang, he still threw the steps, which was great. He didn't care. I was like, all right, Cody Rhodes. Hey, I did all this effort to get these steps in, and then you want to quit? No, ding, ding, ding. Winner of the match, Cody Rhodes. Hey, okay. So boom, Like,
Hey, he had to throw a little. He had to finish his little Homelander thing, at the end. There.
Oh.
He still did it.
Women's tag match. Cam, you told me some news that I did not know until you told me about that. And the winners made more sense for me at that point. Because after the match, I was like, I'm not happy about this. They just came back and now they're winning the tag titles. Like, I'm not too happy about this. But then it made more sense to me. It did. It made more sense after you told me what happened. So, whether I'm happy about them being champions or not, made sense. I'm okay with it. Chad Gable should have won the Intercontinental title, but it makes sense that he didn't. And we'll talk a little more about that later on in the show. What other matches did we see? World title match, and we've seen the women's world title. Women's world title match, I wasn't too into. I wasn't. I really wasn't. And the world title match, I'll say this. I got about 5 minutes in, and after seeing everything that I seen on the internet, I was like, I can't watch the rest of this. I can't. Like, going on the internet ruined it for me.
To be fair, it was kind of
to me, it's Damien's best match.
I'll probably go back and watch it.
In a while.
I'll probably go back and watch it sometime in the near future, maybe tomorrow or something. Like, if I'm bored doing absolutely nothing like normal, I'll probably go back and watch it, but I will give the show a B-. It was a really good show for what it was, and we got new champions, women's tag team titles. So
I like the pacing of the show, though. It felt very fast.
2 hours 45 minutes. That's how long that show was. 2 hours 45 minutes. Great pacing of the show, and that led us up to tonight in Corpus Christi, Texas, for Monday Night Raw. We kicked off the show with Seth freaking Rollins making his return.
Yeah, baby.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't expect this. This was a curveball, a throw from left field, a wow factor. Because the expectancy of Seth Rollins coming back this soon? Don't know. I didn't expect it.
I didn't.
It's only been 3 months. 3 months.
They did a hell of a job of not letting any of that fucking leak out either.
They did. They did a great job with it. But he comes out, he talks about getting back on track with things, getting his world title back, and then he looks up at the Money in the Bank briefcases. And I'm going to ask you guys in a moment your first thoughts when he looked up at those briefcases. But let's get through this real quick. Damian Priest then comes out and says to Seth, hey, I'm genuinely happy you're back. And out of respect, I wanted to cash in on you. But it didn't work out like that. And Damian Priest made it very simple. This is why I like Damian Priest being champion. Because there's no beating around the bush. It's, you want a shot? Let's do it. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's not do all this stuff that we need to do. No. Let's do it. You want this belt back? You want to fight me for it? Don't have to go through Money in the Bank to get it. I'll see you in Toronto in 2 weeks. Yes or no? And Seth said yes. Sets up our World Championship match that is going to be happening at Money in the Bank in 2 weeks. But my first thought was, we're really going to get Seth Rollins in a Money in the Bank briefcase match. Like, after what he did to elevate that World Championship, a new championship, a championship that got so much negativity poured on it, even by me. I'll say it because I don't like 2 world titles. You guys know that. I've come to terms with it. I have. But my first thought was, why? Like, just let him get his rematch. And now it's happening. So, guys, your thoughts on when Seth looked at the briefcase, if you had a thought, and your thoughts overall on this segment, and how excited are you for Seth Rollins and Damian Priest? Sean, we'll kick this off with you.
Before I say that, I want to give my overall rating of the show that we normally do.
Oh yeah. Well, let's save that for the end. We normally do it at the beginning. Yeah, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We'll save it for the end.
Okay, perfect.
We'll do it at the end. That's fine.
My answer may shock you, so.
It's because we just gave a grade on a PLE.
Right.
Well, like,
No,
why
I feel you.
grades right in a row? We'll give our final grade on Raw at the end of the show.
I was like, damn, he just came back, and they're gonna put him in a ladder match. I don't know about that. I don't know how good his knee is or his leg or whatever. To be putting him in a ladder match so soon, but I'm happy he's back. It was a shock to me. I was like, oh shit. I thought, like, he can't be cleared already. And then he's like, your host for tonight or something. You mentioned being a host for tonight or something. It's like, are we? I hope we're not getting guest hosts back. Please don't do that again.
I don't think we're ever going to see that again.
I hope not. I'm glad it didn't. And then Damian came out, challenged him, and I'm so excited because I get to see that match live. The world title match in Toronto with Shadow.
Damn, there we go. That horn again.
Toot toot.
I want to know how much this horn was. I really do.
But I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see it in person.
We know you are, Sean. It's Monday night.
It's Monday night.
Dave, your thoughts on this segment. Your thoughts on Seth going after the world title, and if you had any thoughts on when he looked up at those briefcase, what was your thought?
Well, first of all, just to start Monday Night Raw off with Seth Rollins coming back, I didn't see happening. For him to come back this soon again was pretty shocking. But what better way to start off Raw red hot, right? You know, a surprising return from Seth Rollins. I liked it. You know, him looking up at the briefcase, I didn't really think much of it. Really, I mean, I guess there was a slight thought, I guess, but I was like, nah, there's no way. Like, I still just didn't think he was ready. I mean, he just came back, right? So I'm just like, I don't know. So I didn't really give too much thought into that. You know, Damian comes out, like he talked about getting the world title back. And then of course, you know, Damian comes out. Now the thing that I thought about, that I paid attention to, is what Seth Rollins had said about this being Monday Night Rollins. Now, if you ask me, in his absence, I think Monday night is kind of Monday Night Judgment Day at this point, because they're running a rough shot right now. There was a lot of Judgment Day, and there has been in the weeks and the months that he's been gone. There's a lot of Judgment Day now, that especially now that Liv and the whole Dom thing's going on. There's a lot of Judgment Day throughout the show. You get, you know, like at least 2 segments backstage. You get at least 2 matches. You know, so you get a lot of Judgment Day throughout the show. So they're kind of running roughshod right now, and I think they kind of took Seth Rollins' spot, if you ask me. So for right now, this kind of feels like a battle, not just for the belt, but for a battle for supremacy of who really is running Monday Night Raw right now. For me, to get a match between them two, obviously, I wouldn't be upset if the remainder of Seth Rollins' career, however long he has left in WWE or in, you know, his wrestling career entirely, if we never see Seth Rollins ever again in a Money in the Bank ladder match, because personally, I don't think he needs to be in it. He's not going to. I don't think he's going to top what he did with the heist of the century at WrestleMania 31 when he cashed in on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, made that a triple threat, and won the championship, walked out with it. I don't think he's topping that, right? He's always going to be able to hang his hat on being the first to do that. Damian's going to be the one to hang the hat on being the second one to do that. So I don't think he's ever going to really top that. So for me, and you look at all his accolades, look at his name. His name just holds that certain weight to it. You don't, to me, you just don't need Seth Rollins in a Money in the Bank ladder match ever again, if you ask me. I just don't think he needs to be in it.
Yeah.
In terms of, you know, him versus Damian, I'm excited for it in a way, but in a way I'm not, just because it's kind of lazy, just because I feel like this is what they get for having so many PLEs so close together. They get off one PLE and it's like, oh, we got 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks to build for another PLE. So it's like they don't really have a lot of time to try to build a brand new, you know, challenger for Damian Priest. So it's like, oh, here comes Seth Rollins. We don't really need to build Seth Rollins. So it's like lazy because they're taking kind of the easy way out or whatever. But I think they'll have a good match though, regardless.
Yeah. I mean, Seth Rollins again coming back was a huge surprise. A lot of us didn't expect him to be back this soon, especially with that knee injury. We didn't. I mean, I thought we weren't going to get him till at least Rumble. That's how far out I thought we were going to at least Royal Rumble.
That's really far out.
I know. But with a knee injury and what we heard, it's like, wow, this is kind of like, this is kind of serious. Kind of is. And we thought he was going to be home a little bit, taken care of. But it makes sense what you said. We don't have a lot of time to build a new storyline for Damian Priest. So, hey, insert Seth Rollins and, off to the races for the next 2 weeks leading into Money in the Bank. Makes sense. We got Adam Pearce backstage with the Alpha Academy. Gable talked about his loss on Saturday, and he wants another shot at the Intercontinental title. He went on to talk down to everybody in the Alpha Academy, as usual. Past couple weeks, we've been seeing it. He's been talking down to everybody. And then he said to Adam Pearce that he wants a match for tonight. He ends up getting a match tonight. Now, he didn't know who his opponent was going to be. He didn't care. He said, I'm going to go out there and beat him. So it's going to be a surprise. So I don't know if you guys have anything to say about this segment backstage. I don't really have much to say about it other than, we're going to have more to talk about once we get to that point anyways. So do you guys have anything on this segment?
Nope. Everything pretty much happened later on in the program. So
it actually after this segment, it led into that match because that was a thing that happened earlier in the day. We got Chad Gable going into the ring, and then his opponent came out. Go ahead.
Actually, I do. I'm pretty sure that was it had to have been a recorded backstage segment, unless the suit that Chad was wearing, it was just one of those like false like pull off suits.
Yeah,
and he had like his ring gear underneath. Because I was like, how the heck did he get dressed so fast?
He's quick. Yeah, that threw me off too. I was like, hold on, is this recorded or was this live? Because I didn't see the recording thing underneath from earlier today. It
had to have been a tape thing. Had to be.
Exactly. But we ended up getting it. Chad Gable gets down to the ring and you hear the roar. And it was Braun Strowman. I sat here literally thinking, all right, what happened to Ricochet last week is going to happen to Chad Gable tonight. This is going to happen. And not a bad match between these two. We got Gable got some offense in, but Strowman ultimately getting the win over Chad Gable. And after that, we've seen Chad Gable yelling at the Alpha Academy, blaming them for his loss. He grabbed Akira Tozawa. Maxine got in between, and he knocks out Tozawa, and Otis goes turning around. And then we get it. We finally get it. After weeks of build of anticipation and cliffhangers and all this stuff, we get the Otis turn on Chad Gable, and the Alpha Academy walks out on Chad Gable. So, Cam, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on this match and everything we've seen with the Otis turn and Alpha Academy.
So, I'm right there with Sean about what happened at Clash. I definitely wanted Chad. I feel like he needed the Intercontinental Championship. So, I was very concerned about where they go from here with Chad Gable.
Yeah.
I was very concerned about kind of how they were going with it, because I felt like maybe his heel turn's kind of turning a little comical, where it's like he's still, talking down to Alpha Academy, but now it doesn't have the same power behind it. It just seems redundant now because you keep losing. So you really have no control over the Alpha Academy. You don't have that right to boss them around anymore. And say that they're losers.
5 Intercontinental title matches in 3 months. 5.
Yes.
Like, whoever gets 5 championship title matches in 3 months?
Not a lot of people.
Chad Gable got it, and he couldn't successfully win.
So
what was it? 3? It was 2 against Gunther and 3 against Zayn, or 3 against Gunther and 2 against. Yeah, it was 3 against Zayn.
Two against Gunther and 3 against Zayn.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. After Clash, it was like all of that momentum for him to just be bossing around Alpha Academy is just gone. So I was a little bit concerned, and so And then, Braun Strowman comes out, and I'm like, well, I already know he's not beating Braun Strowman. He's just not, unfortunately. So he loses to Braun. And like I said, I was definitely upset. But obviously, then what happened? They might be transitioning him into something bigger. So I'm curious to see where that goes as well. But I kind of called it. First of all, the match was okay for what it was. But I'll save what I got to say for later on. But I kind of called it about where they're going with the Intercontinental Championship currently. So, but overall, it was an okay match.
Yeah, because we didn't see the last of the involvement of the Intercontinental title. Because I mean, it was talked about in this segment, but there was more involvement with the Intercontinental title later on in the show. We will talk about that in a little bit. But Sean, your thoughts on this match, the Otis turn?
Fucking finally Otis turns on him, but it's bittersweet because it was kind of weak, in my opinion, on how they did it. I wanted Otis to beat the fucking ever living shit out of him.
Yeah, I think a lot.
But we got a little. Granted, it was a big push, and a walkout.
I mean, I can understand what you mean by it was a little weak, but at the same time, you got to think of this: is how this story has been going. Otis has been very conflicted. He's been conflicted between Maxine and Tozawa, who he works a lot aside to. He tags with Tozawa a lot. Maxine is basically, I wouldn't say what we got from Mandy a few years back, but it's almost like the reminder of, we got the reminder of her last week. We did. So in a sense, she's kind of like, I don't want to call her the new Mandy, but it's an obvious thing. It's an obvious thing. But anyways, he's conflicted. So he didn't go overboard with it. He just showed Chad, like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this. And I'm not going to let you do this to us anymore. And he shoved him. And that was it. He showed his size. That's all he needed to do.
Yeah.
He didn't need to beat him down. He already got that from Braun. He didn't need to get it from... And he's going to get it next week. Because we're going to see the qualifying match with Braun Strowman, Chad Gable, and Bronson Reed.
Isn't there with two monsters?
I mean, yeah.
That man's gonna be made a sandwich. I'm sorry.
I was about to say that. Sean, have you ever made a sandwich where the piece of meat was just a little too small for the bread? Yeah, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed are the bread. And Chad Gable's that little piece of meat that you don't taste until you get halfway through the sandwich. That's what he is. Okay? So, but we're going to have to see what goes on moving forward with this storyline because there's going to be more. This ain't over. This isn't. This is not over. So we get our first Judgment Day segment of the night. Now, yeah, Damian Priest was involved earlier in the night with Seth Rollins. And like you said, Cam, Monday Night Raw has been Monday Night Judgment Day. It really has been. We got, 9 Judgment Day segments last week. 9. That's how many Judgment Day segments we got last week. And some of them were back-to-back. But we get our first one. And that was Finn Balor. Finn Balor went to... I have it in my notes here. Sometimes when I take notes, it's scratch because I'm trying to write so fast. Okay? So, Finn Balor...
hieroglyphics.
Dude, you should see my notes. It's ridiculous. I mean, like, look at this. It's scratch. It's ridiculous. Finn Balor did say to Damian Priest that as far as it comes to Seth Rollins, he got his back. Damian Priest then confronted Balor about the key card because seen the video package with Finn Balor grabbing the key card. Balor said it's gone. It's gone. Don't worry about it. That's it. And then, that's all it really was about. Priest was just catching up with everybody in the Judgment Day, trying to see how everybody's doing. And Dom was kind of concerned about his vest. His vest was missing. We don't know who took it. Wink, wink. We don't know who took his vest. We're going to find out later on in the night who took his vest. But then we get into a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Io Sky, Zelina Vega, and Kiana James. The first Money in the Bank qualifying match for the women. Not a bad triple threat match between these women. Io Sky ends up getting the win, but we've seen Liv Morgan come out with Dominic's vest and distracted Zelina Vega. That seems like that's the next road we're going to see Liv Morgan go down, is with Zelina Vega. And I'm not against it. I'm not. Just think of it this way. Zelina Vega, a year ago in Puerto Rico, got a women's world title match against Rhea Ripley. Now, she's going to be feuding with Liv Morgan, possibly. Right? And who's Liv Morgan basically trying to take the place of?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. Full circle. It's insane. But Io Sky ends up getting the win. We see a damage control segment backstage a little later. We'll get into that. But Io Sky still got the win. And that segment backstage, let's talk about that segment real quick. It was short. Io Sky was all mad, pissed off. And she said that if she's got to fix something herself, she's going to do it. Because the other girls in damage control just can't seem to get the job done. What she was mad about, I don't know. But your guys' thoughts on this triple threat and the Io Sky getting mad again? Cam, we'll start with you.
It's interesting because normally we see these Money in the Bank qualifying matches and they're normally like one-on-ones. So I was kind of confused when I seen Zelina Vega come out after Kiana James and Io came out. I was like, wait a minute, how many people are in this match? So that's very interesting. I like them doing triple threats. It just kind of mixes up that formula of doing a one-on-one qualifying match.
Yep.
And I originally I had thought maybe Kiana James was going to win this match, because them trying to build new faces and things of that nature. But really, Kiana was only really in this match to eat the pin. Zelina was in this match, obviously, so they could start, planting the seeds for Zelina and Liv Morgan. There were some people who are Zelina Vega fans who were like, "Oh, she should have won that match." But again, if some fans would just stop and just think, because a lot of times they get so upset about their favorites losing.
Yeah,
she doesn't need to be in the Money in the Bank match. That's just the briefcase to possibly get a match after they cash in.
Yep.
But no, she's going straight for the champion. The champion just cost her the match. You don't think she's not going to want her lick back for that? Come on now. So they're already planting the seeds. It's going to be Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan. So yeah. So and then Io winning this kind of surprised me because Io, she was Miss Money in the Bank a year ago. So that kind of surprised me a little bit. But however, I do believe Io needed this win based off of the losing streak that Damage Control has been on. And again, this is it's one of two things. Either Io is just going to get tired of the losing ways of Damage Control and just go off on her own, or we could see a brand new member come in and completely change Damage Control and change their fortune on Raw completely. I'm not sure. But again, I still stand by what I've said. I hate sounding like a broken record every single week, but Io doesn't really need Damage Control anymore. She just doesn't.
No.
We're getting that psycho schizophrenic, whatever heel Io back. I think that's great. It's fantastic. We just don't need, she doesn't need Damage Control anymore, I don't think so, but we'll see what happens.
I agree with you. And I said it last week too. I missed the Io Sky that we got down in NXT where she had that really cool entrance where she was all like crazy in the flashing lights. And then when she got in the ring, she was just a monster in the ring. I agree with you on that. I do, that she doesn't need Damage Control. And ultimately, I would love to see Dakota Kai get out on her own. And that was my first thought when we got the entrances. I was like, Zelina Vega ain't winning this because she's going to start feuding with Liv Morgan. We got the seeds planted last week. And Kiana James, yeah, she could have won to be that new face, but I don't think a lot of people know too much about her. I'm one that don't know too much about her. I don't. I'm learning about her now because I'm just getting back into NXT. There's some shows I see, some Tuesday nights I miss. But ultimately, I'm learning about Kiana James as we go along in Raw. So my thought was Io Sky. And it doesn't surprise me that we're getting Io Sky and Money in the Bank again. We've seen it many of times where, CM Punk, for example, won Money in the Bank 2 years in a row. Chris Jericho was involved, I think, in like 5 Money in the Banks. So we've seen, contenders in Money in the Bank back to back at times. It's happened. So for Io to be back involved in Money in the Bank, it doesn't surprise me. And it would not surprise me if they put it on her again. It wouldn't. Because right now, I can't think of anybody that would fit being Miss Money in the Bank right now, other than Io Sky. So, Sean, your thoughts on this triple threat, and your thoughts on Liv and Zelina Vega possibly starting their feud.
Well, you said I can't see anybody else being Miss Money in the Bank.
Oh no!
I did it myself. I did it myself.
So I'm gonna have to say,
What did I do? What did I do, Cam? I should not have said that.
You walked into that one.
I did. I walked in. Sean, let me ask you this. You've seen the Family Guy episode of Spider-Man, right?
Yes.
You only get one. You only get one. Just saying right now. And I know what you're going to say, so I'm going to react to it right now. I disagree with you.
Just think about it. Think about it.
You only get one.
They're putting
use it wisely, sir.
They're putting. You say Io's gonna be. Granted, that's a good.
She's the perfect fit right now. Nobody else anywhere.
Tiffany is getting in a program with Nia Jax as a acquaintances.
Okay, so they can have a pre-show match before the BLE.
No.
I'd be okay with that.
Tiffany will be in the Money in the Bank, win it. Either at Money in the Bank, she cashes in on Bayley.
Nope.
Or because Nia Jax has that SummerSlam match, she cashes in on there, and it causes a rift, or even a whole thing between Nia and Tiffany, because of obviously screwing Nia out of the fucking championship. But the match itself, I liked it. I see why they put it on Io. So I'm not gonna say, that my favorite in the match should have won to build up new stars, which was Kiana. But Io, it makes sense. So I'm gonna say it was a good choice for them to have Io. Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan makes absolute sense. So I'm glad they're doing that. So
Liv Morgan Banks. What'd you say?
No, he said Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega.
Oh, I thought you said Liv Morgan Banks. I was like, what?
He said at Money in the Bank.
Okay. Yeah, I was so confused when you said. But all in all, the match was pretty decent. Even though that my Kiana didn't win, but it's all good. There still could be like second chances. I feel like they're gonna give people.
Didn't they do that last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel like I still feel like we'll talk about this.
So how they did it? How they did it last year was they had their 5 contenders, and then they had a last chance battle royal to determine who's going to be in the Money in the Bank as the 6th person. And I believe they're going to do that again this year.
I think
why not? It's successful. It's great how they do it.
I think they should do 7 this year. So just do your 6, and then the 7th spot is like the second chance, last chance for the people who lost. That's what I think they should do.
I'll say this. When they did it during the pandemic, when they did it at headquarters, I loved how they did it. They did one match, men and women, at the same time. I wish they would do that concept like now. So I'm going to get off the rails here for a second, guys, and I've thought about this. I wish they would do that concept now, but do it in the arena. And just like we see at Survivor Series War Games, have 2 rings set up. Women's briefcase above one, men's briefcase above the other. Have the matches going on simultaneously. Just have it happening. But it has to start. It has to start in the backstage area, just like they did where you started on the ground floor at the headquarters. Okay, this time they started in the backstage area.
I feel like
Or
it's
like
gonna
the
be a
parking
lot
lot.
of chaos.
Why not?
Love it.
You're telling me you didn't like that
Love it,
Money in
yeah.
the Bank ladder match?
I
at all?
did. I'm just saying, but in a
Okay.
arena, 2 rings, I don't know.
Did you not watch Double or Nothing 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago? Did you not like?
I was there, yeah.
Okay, oh, yeah, you were there. That's right. I forgot. But did you not like Anarchy in the Arena?
I did. I'm just saying it's
Hey,
just a
and
lot
there
of
was a lot of
chaos.
chaos in that match. So you're telling me WWE couldn't do that for themselves and make their Money in the Bank from 2020 come back to life in 2024 inside an arena with fans?
Well, yeah, they're just gonna have to be careful with the men and women in the ring.
They would have to be careful. They'd be fine. They'd be fine.
That's why you have 2 rings, though, Sean.
You really like to piss in people's cornflakes sometimes. What the hell?
You just have 2 rings like War Games.
That's what I mean. Yeah. You have the women's briefcase above one, men's in the other. I explained that 5 minutes ago. There you go. And then they go after the respectful briefcases. That's it. You just start in the back area. The men and women can start in their own respected areas, and they both have to work to the ring. That's it. That's all they have to do. They can make it happen. And it would be awesome if they did it that way. I don't know. I think so. Let's move on. Sami Zayn had a promo. 72 days as the Intercontinental Champion. Now, some of us felt like he wasn't going to get past 72 days or even 50 days. Some of us did. He talked about defeating Chad Gable for the Intercontinental title back at Clash at the Castle on Saturday. And then he got interrupted by Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker came out and said that he's beaten everybody that's gotten put in front of him and that he should be next up. He very quickly got interrupted by Sheamus. Now, Sheamus, as we know in history, has yet to hold the Intercontinental Championship. He's held the United States title. He's held the World's Heavyweight Championship. He's held the tag title a couple times. He is yet to hold the Intercontinental Championship in his career. So he comes out and says that he would like a shot. Sami Zayn said that he's going to make it very simple. He's going to go back. He's going to talk to Adam Pearce, and he is going to get a match made for later on in the night for these two to battle it out to see who becomes number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this segment. If not, we will move forward. Sean, do you have any thoughts?
Remind me, what segment was it again?
Sami Zayn's.
I like what the direction they're going with this. I'm excited for his next opponent, and I hope he dominates Sami Zayn.
Cam, do you have any thoughts on this segment?
No.
Okay, we're going to move forward. We got a match between Dragon Lee and Carlito. And I'm going to say this. I don't say this very much about matches because my comment on things, and Cam, I sent you a video on a thing that I discussed on the Boom every Wednesday night here on Rivet City Radio's Twitch, Off the Top BD's YouTube channel, Wednesday after AEW Dynamite, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I said that sometimes we just get wrestling shows for the sake of a wrestling show. Sometimes shows don't have to mean anything. Sometimes it's just to get by a show. It's basically a house show on television. Sometimes we get that. This match kind of made me feel that way. I wasn't too into this one. I really wasn't. I get the whole LWO Judgment Day rivalry going on. This was a match that I really honestly was not too excited about. Carlito ended up getting the win. Do you guys have anything to say about Carlito and Dragon Lee? Cam, we'll start with you.
I'm not really too thrilled with the run Carlito's had thus far. You know, when he came back, you know, I was kind of hoping for something else, you know. I really desperately want Carlito just on his own. If he's going to be a heel, which I suggest keep him a heel, have him be a heel on his own, you know. I get it, you know, he's older now and some of probably his better stuff is behind him, but I still feel like he can have some great things to do in a solo storyline with any of the talent they have now. But kind of just sticking him with the LWO, then he turns and they basically just stuck him with the Judgment Day. It's just like it's the same thing, just a heel faction.
Yep.
That and the whole LWO thing, I'm kind of tired of too. It's just there's they don't really have storylines that are all that interesting. It's like week after week, it's just kind of the same thing. It's Dragon Lee versus Carlito, or it's Dragon Lee versus Finn Balor, or whoever. It's just this. It's kind of just again rinse and repeat constantly. So, but I definitely think they just use LWO and the members of LWO as like the run of the mill, like the middle of the card kind of time filler slot on Raw. So I don't really see them going anywhere anytime soon. At least not for a while. But once they do disband, I'm hoping for better things for all parties involved, especially Dragon Lee, because he came in as a big signing, and he
did.
Right now it's not, it hasn't been all that exciting to me. It started out that way. He did some great stuff in NXT. But it's just right now it's been a massive cool down for him and Carlito. So I kind of feel bad for them in a way, because I feel like they have more to offer than just being stuck in factions. But this was an okay match. I really don't have much to say about it. It's just kind of, like I said, time filler.
I do have something to build off of what you said, but first, Sean, your thoughts on Dragon Lee Carlito?
I really did not give a shit about this match. I could care less. Like, I'm so sick. It's the same shit every week, rinse and repeat. Different members of the faction, but same match no matter what. Dragon Lee versus Carlito. Oh, you didn't get it done. Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio. It's always Dragon Lee versus goddamn, I don't know.
It's just different members of factions.
The janitor. Yeah.
Yes, they mix it up. The thing is with storylines, sometimes how they used to do it back in the day was you had either 3-week storylines, 6-week storylines, 9-week storylines, 12-week storylines, 15, 16-week storylines. That's how they used to do it. I don't think they do it like that today. With these two factions, it feels like that's what they're doing, but they're elongating it. That's what they're doing. They're making it be a little longer because it's two factions going against each other. We don't see a lot of we do see factions working against each other, but it's at sporadic moments at times. This is supposed to be a consistent storyline that is just not hooking anybody. As far as building off of what Cam said, the Carlito thing, he is not done. And by all means, I don't want to slight this man. I was a fan of him back in the day. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool, and he spit the apple. Loved it. I wish he would bring that back. That would be awesome. Tonight seemed a little lazy on his part. He wrestled in sweatpants. Like, dude. Like, ever since you got back, nothing has been exciting about you. And it sucks.
I think he's just there for a paycheck.
I don't even want to say that about him. What I'm trying to say is, I wish I would know whether he's watching us or not. I highly doubt it, but hey, he may see this. I don't know. But I want to say this. Carlito, please do. Bring back what you used to be. Because I guarantee if you do, the fans will be behind you, whether you are a heel or a babyface. Whether you are spitting apples in people's faces or handing apples out to people to eat. It doesn't matter. But right now, you are not winning anything. Yeah, you won your match tonight. But winning the fans over, I don't see it happening. So, we got a segment backstage. We had an interview. The new women's tag team champions, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn. They were getting interviewed, talking about their big win at Clash at the Castle, and they were interrupted by Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks. Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler both said they got their big win last week on them on Raw, and then they were about to win the tag titles, and that got interrupted. So they are challenging them for the tag team championships. I'm going to say this. Again, Cam, you brought it to my attention what happened that made sense of winning these titles. But at the same time, I really, really hope by at least the end of the summer, we get Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler as tag team champions. Because I have a great feeling about them holding those belts. I just have a feeling that they would be able to get the women's tag team division to where, or even close to where it needs to be. Because they could be that dominant team that just runs through the division. They can. And I see them being better than what Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey were. I think they could be 10 times better than what Shayna and Ronda were. Because Shayna and Ronda didn't give us what they could have done. They didn't. You guys have any thoughts on this segment? Sean, we'll start with you.
My girls are tag team champions. Yeah.
So these are your girls. Kiana James is your girl. Another name we're not mentioning is your girl. Which one is it?
Hey, man. I'm like Baskin Robbins. I like 32 flavors. What do you?
Oh, my God.
Anyways,
We're
you
canceled.
say that end of summer.
We're canceled.
You
We're canceled.
say that
Canceled.
they're gonna hold the titles until summer, at least till summer. I say they're gonna hold the titles.
I mean,
past
Cam, at least
summer.
we got Wednesday night. Saying that right now. At least we got Wednesday nights.
way past summer. They're gonna hold it till at least Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. Like,
I get that. They probably will, but I'm just saying, as a fan, I hope we get Zoe Stark and Shayna.
because to me, they're just Shayna and Zoe are just boring. They're like charisma vacuums. You know,
again.
they're just.
I don't
I
like
see them. I see them, and I think, did they take promo lessons from Bret Hart?
Oh, stop.
Like,
Cam, what's your thoughts on this? Before I go off on him, please, your thoughts.
So like I said again,
Here's the thing: is Sean when he doesn't like something, I caught on to this. If he doesn't like it, he's gonna talk everything bad about it, whether it's good or not. If he doesn't like it, he's gonna talk bad about it. See, if I don't like something, I'm still gonna give my positive and negative feedback on it. Why? Because I'm a professional.
I'm not a professional.
I don't know. That's yet to be seen.
So someone's got to play the bad guy on the show, right? Like,
Not you. It's definitely not you. I'm sorry, Cam. I didn't mean to cut you off, sir. That was very unprofessional of me. Your thoughts on this segment?
well, like I said, I'm not necessarily gonna shit on Unholy Union too much, for right now, just because the recent tragedy and everything that happened at Alba Fire. She's had a very rough week and a half. So it's a special thing to see them as tag team champions right now. But I'm literally giving it probably like a month, 2 months. If they don't really have a real plan with them, if this doesn't really go anywhere for the tag team division, then yeah, I'm gonna probably be pretty critical of it. But I mean, I can't really say they're planting seeds, but I mean, I guess the only real next challengers they would have would be Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Sean says, at least to a Survivor Series, probably. That's a decent enough run. I just don't really know what they're gonna do with it from here. But right now, like I said, they're still in their honeymoon phase, so I'm not really gonna shit on it too bad. But yeah, it was a segment for a segment, I guess. I'm trying to be nice here.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said, like, give them a nice little test run with the titles. I'm not saying you don't have to put them back on them at some point. I just want to see what Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark can do with these belts. And I feel like they can do a lot with them and kind of elevate this division. I said it last week. Even if I'm a fan of somebody, Sean, listen to this. Even if I'm a fan of somebody like Mercedes Moné, if they're coming in and demanding title shots, even if they're coming back from an injury or making their debut in a company, I'm not going to be happy about it. Because why? They didn't work for it. Mercedes Moné is the TBS champion right now. We're seeing her work. So I'm starting to be a little happy about it, but I'm still a little upset to the fact that it took the belt off of Willow because it was Mercedes' first match. She did nothing to earn that title shot. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, they lost the match on Raw before the title match. Again, what Cam mentioned, I understand. Hey, it had a rough week, a lot of tragedy, all that stuff. I understand it. I respect it. We get to at least SummerSlam, put the titles on Shayna and Zoe, and see if they can do what I'm thinking they can do. I'm nothing to them. I'm a fan of the WWE. That's all I am to them. So this is just opinion-based. But, I don't know. During the Dragon Lee Carlito match, we did see Liv Morgan get involved into that. We talked about Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan already. We got into that. We're not going to get too much more into it because I'm sure we're going to see more moving on. So we're going to get on to the next segment. Drew McIntyre made his way out to the ring. Short and sweet. He says, "Screw this company, I quit." And walked out. And we see Adam Pearce trying to calm him down, try and talk him down. I'm kind of speechless on this because this was a total throw out of left field. You're in this mega middle of a storyline with CM Punk. And now you have Drew McIntyre coming out saying he quits. I really hope that we do not have to wait until next week. I hope tomorrow by noontime on social media, we get some type of explanation for this. Because I don't want to wait till next Monday to find out what the hell's going on. I don't. Now, I know Drew McIntyre deleted his social medias. He no longer has his X up. He has no social media. He deleted everything immediately. Gone. Go on X. You can't find him. You go on FB, anywhere else, you can't find him. Gone. So now the question lies is what is next for Drew McIntyre? I don't know if you guys have anything to say about this.
Yeah, can I go first on this one? If you don't mind. This was a shock, but I feel like it's going one of two ways, and then the second way I can't take credit for it with somebody else. The first way I see is he shows up in Chicago on Friday night, beats the ever-loving shit out of CM Punk from a blindside attack. Just take out all his aggression, beat the shit out of fucking CM Punk, and leave him there.
Cleared.
Huh?
CM Punk's not cleared.
Yeah, he's not clear. He did make the tease in the press conference. Oh, I'm clear for referee duties, but not, yeah. But if it was Drew McIntyre, you think he'd really give a fuck about if he was cleared or not? And I can't take credit for this. Someone said this earlier. Drew McIntyre shows up in TNA as part of this partnership and do the match that he was teasing and wanted to do as well with Moose. Maybe just left field. I doubt it will happen. He wins the TNA World Title for a bit, and then when CM Punk's fully healthy, he comes back. And then him and CM Punk pick it up, which will probably be another month or two, maybe.
I can kind of agree with you on that, but here's where I feel like the issue would lie. Is if you had Drew McIntyre go over to TNA and face Moose, win the TNA World Title, he would number one have to be in TNA. He'd have to be over there for the foreseeable future. Now, could he show up on WWE TV with that title? Yes. But at this point, he's quit. He's gone. Done. I think they would lose all types of traction with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's storyline if they were to have him go to another company and win a world title.
What if they have CM Punk screw him over in that company as well?
So, Sean, I'm going to set something up for you. And tell me if this makes a little more sense. Okay? And you can disagree with me on this. I want you to say, Mike, I disagree with you. I still stand with what I said.
Like I said, I can't take credit for that possibility, but
okay, this is the setup. Drew McIntyre quit. He's gone. Now, what have we seen Drew McIntyre do in the past couple weeks? Coming on Raw, talking all types of stuff to CM Punk.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes seeing CM Punk, sometimes we didn't. Okay? Now, the roles are kind of reversed. We're seeing CM Punk in Chicago on Friday night. Now, you can highlight CM Punk. CM Punk can come out and talk about Drew McIntyre. Just keep talking. Basically, easiest way I can compare this, what John Cena did to The Undertaker before their match at WrestleMania. We seen John Cena come out and say all types of stuff about The Undertaker, and not one word from The Undertaker until we got to WrestleMania. Then Taker showed up. Okay? This can be the same factor. CM Punk comes out, says all types of stuff. We get and here's the setup, though. CM Punk gets cleared. He ends up, because of Drew McIntyre leaving, he ends up getting a world title match. And during that match, out comes Drew McIntyre and Claymore kicks CM Punk, causing him the world title. That sets us up for CM Punk and Drew McIntyre whenever CM Punk is cleared and ready to go. We can't see Drew McIntyre anywhere else right now. That can't happen. He's quit. We see him in TNA. This quitting thing would make no sense.
I brought up a good point about, I don't know if it's a good point, but I brought up a point about TNA also when someone said challenge Moose. I said, what if he goes to TNA, has a thing with Matt Hardy and they could take it to the compound. They throw his ass or have a thing where they put him in the Lake of Reincarnation. Comes back out as the Scottish psychopath. And his mindset is that killer psychopath again. And then goes back and comes after CM Punk.
The Scottish psychopath thing, in my opinion, and Cam, you can give your opinion on this. I would honestly like to hear your opinion on this if you have one. But I think going back to the Scottish psychopath thing would be taking a step back after the evolution that we got of Drew McIntyre in the past 4 years. Because Drew McIntyre has evolved in the past 4 years. I think the Scottish psychopath thing would be taking a step back. That's just my thought. Cam, do you have a thought on this? Do you have any reaction to the Drew McIntyre quitting? What's your thoughts on this whole thing?
Well, first of all, I have to give kudos to the fans who are bringing these hilarious signs into these arenas. At Clash, we got a sign that said Damien eats dry cereal, which I thought was hilarious. And then tonight we got a sign teasing Drew because he's now 0-2 at Clash. So kudos to them because those signs were hilarious. Now on to the Drew thing, him quitting. Now to me, this reminds me of what happened to Kevin Owens all those years back when Kevin Owens had supposedly quit, and of course, most recently Jey Uso. So obviously, I don't think that he's done. He's leaving. But I do believe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know where this goes. I feel like Drew. I feel like he goes away for a while, and he should. We've gotten a lot of Drew for a while now, and I feel like after this, it would be kind of overkill to keep seeing him right now, especially since his sworn enemy right now is not cleared yet, and there's been heavy rumors that's still going to be held off into SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So I think Drew needs to just go away for a while, and I think this is what that sets up. Now, kudos to them, bravo. If he deleted all his social medias, because now that's taking him completely out of the equation, and that's essentially taking away his superpower because he's been like the social media king of trolls with the whole CM Punk thing. So you're taking away everything from him. So when he comes back, whenever he comes back, I think he's going to be even more pissed off than he already is. So I like it. I definitely like it. Instead of having again, it's throwing us for a loop as fans, because as fans were like, oh man, he's going to come out on Raw and be, freaking raising all kinds of hell and be pissed off. No, he just came in there and just said, screw this company, I quit, walked out. So it's once again throwing us for a loop with that. In the meantime, I feel like this is the opportunity for CM Punk to become the troll. Like, oh, I made him quit. Oh, I did this. Oh, I cost him his match at Clash. So now this is his chance to become the troll. Now, to what Sean said and what you were wanting to get my thoughts on about him going into the Lake of Reincarnation and being at the Hardy compound and all this and going back to this Scott of Psychopath. I'm somebody that is not really a fan, because I know a lot of people always like bringing back stuff they loved from the past. They always talk about bringing back like old entrance themes. Some people that come to mind are like Sheamus's old theme and Drew's, Broken Dreams theme. I'm not so much a fan of always bringing back things because I like the evolution of stuff. I don't like stuff to just kind of stay the same. So I agree with you, Mike. Him bringing back the Scott of Psychopath, yeah, that'd be great. But I think it'd be better if he kind of is, when he comes back, it's a mix of the Scott of Psychopath and what he is currently. Kind of mix that in there somewhere to push him to the evolution of Drew into something else once again. Just like we've seen Seth Rollins do, countless of times. He's had all these different gimmicks and he keeps reinventing himself. So yeah, the Scott of Psychopath coming back, I think would be definitely a step back, because what he's done thus far has been some of his best stuff, I think, since the Scott of Psychopath. So, but yeah, I don't know where they're going with it, but I think if I had to guess, this is just how they get him off TV for a while, and until CM Punk is 100% ready to go, and we can pick back up on this feud.
Yeah, I just think the spotlight needs to be on CM Punk right now. I think we need to see more of CM Punk talking, because we got a lot of Drew McIntyre talking, not only on TV, but on social media. This is the time to get CM Punk on the microphone. Let him build up some stuff, and then we can get Drew McIntyre back by, like you said, SummerSlam. But I'll say this. My favorite Drew McIntyre theme was his NXT theme. That was my favorite. I loved his NXT theme. I did. I even loved his theme when he first came back up on the main roster. His one now, I got used to it, but those were my two favorites. Like, I loved his NXT theme. I did. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I just hope we don't have to wait until next week. We need to get something by tomorrow. At least. Latest Friday. Because waiting until next Monday, oh my God. I think I might lose my mind. I might. We got our match between Sheamus and Braun Breaker. Now, this match was very physical. Very physical match between these two gentlemen. And to the point, I didn't know who to pick to win. I didn't. Half of me was like, I want to see Sheamus. Half of me was like, I want to see Braun Breaker. But thanks to Ludwig Kaiser, that didn't happen. We got interference from Ludwig Kaiser, taking out Sheamus. Then we got that cool camera shot from above. Braun Breaker running from one side of the ring, Ludwig going on the other, and Braun Breaker spearing Ludwig Kaiser into next week. And I mean it, next week. I think Ludwig Kaiser, he went off screen. We're going to see him flying into next week.
Braun killed him before the Wyatt Six did.
So, guys, your thoughts on this match? Your thoughts on, not getting a clear-cut winner, which we were hoping to get, and what you feel like we might see moving forward. Cam, we'll start with you.
Well, Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. I like this. I definitely like this. The matchup, on paper in the ring. I wrote it down once again for a candidate for match of the year. Um, you know, I'm loving the fact that they're breaking out of the traditional way of building up a superstar. We don't just see repeated squash matches over and over and over and over. Braun is going up against the top names right now. Ricochet, Ilya, Sheamus. So he's going up against the top names right now, and I think that's just making him look more like a star right now. I've never seen a bright young star talent like him be built like this ever. Probably, I think they're doing a fantastic job. I don't even think saying that they've strapped a rocket on his. I don't think that explains it. I think his momentum right now is more like a bullet train right now, like it's running full speed right now, and I'm loving every second of it. And yeah, I agree with you on the clear cut winner thing. I don't think if Braun were to win, which that would be my pick, that it would have hurt Sheamus at all. Sheamus is just a brawler. Like it wouldn't have hurt Sheamus at all, and it would have just put over Braun even more because now you have a win over a legend in the making in Sheamus. So that would be a big notch under his belt for sure. But right now, I think the way they're building Braun Breaker is it's really not about wins and losses. It's he's just out for blood. He's out to just destroy people.
Yep.
And that right there is the single thing that's putting him over. So I kind of saw Ludwig getting involved. I didn't think that feud between him and Sheamus was over. So I saw that coming. The ending to this, the whole brawl, and whatnot was great. I loved the fact that Ludwig attacked Sheamus just like he attacked his former partner in Imperium. And then the whole opposite run around the ring, and then he gets speared was insanity. That was nuts. I've never seen something like that. The sheer speed of Braun Breaker is scary. And then of course, then the whole face to face and scuffle with Sheamus and Braun Breaker. Obviously, once again, I kind of called this. I kind of planned this out a couple weeks ago where I had said, hey, now Ricochet's gone. Ricochet, I don't think you're going to see you come back, but that's where you see Braun Breaker enter that spot. He's beaten Chad enough times. We don't need to see him and Chad again. So moving Sami Zayn on to something else, into Braun Breaker. I think he'd be the perfect person that Sammy feuds with next, and you have Braun Breaker win the Intercontinental Championship. I think that'd be fantastic. So you're planting the seeds here. I think it'd be a great feud. And yeah, like I said, I have no problems with this match or the ending of it at all. And I'm definitely excited to see Sammy and Braun Breaker. Fantastic stuff.
I mean, at this point, I don't think there's a rocket strapped to Braun's back. I think he's driving the rocket. He's driving it. Bullet train rocket, whatever you want to say he has. He's driving it. And the last time I mentioned it last week, and people are probably going to disagree with me, and that's okay. I'm okay with people disagreeing with me. But the last time I seen a star getting built up the way Braun is, Brock came in.
Yeah.
He was having 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s. Fair. And then his first big feud was with Rob Van Dam. Ends up winning King of the Ring, and he moves on winning the World Championship within 8 months, beating The Rock at SummerSlam. And the first championship that Brock Lesnar challenged for, the Intercontinental Championship, Rob Van Dam was the champion. Brock didn't win it. He was losing matches by DQ and everything like that. Never won the Intercontinental Championship, though. But that was his first championship he went after. This is why Braun reminds me of the way they built Brock. And that was over 20 years ago. 2002. 22 years ago. People disagree with me, that's fine. But this is what it's reminded me of. Oh, and by the way, you mentioned Ricochet. You notice who wasn't ring announcing tonight? I'm not saying she's gone, but she wasn't there tonight. Samantha.
It's true.
She wasn't there tonight.
I don't think she's gone either. But they're just playing up to the injury that happened to Ricochet the week prior. So
she left with him in the ambulance, and she's at home with him right now. That's it. I don't think Samantha's gone. I know the internet. I know the internet was hot throughout the week. Like, oh, Samantha's leaving Ricochet. No.
She was at Clash, so I don't know.
Yeah, so she's not gone.
That could be it. Well, yeah, she was at Clash. That could be it too. Is the fact of, hey, she was at Clash. She ring announced. They gave her the night off. That was that.
Could be.
That could be it too. But Sean, your thoughts on this match, the ending, and you think if Braun goes after the Intercontinental title?
Yes, and I think Braun's going to take the Intercontinental title. There's no one else that's going to take the title. If it wasn't Chad, it's definitely going to be Braun.
Okay.
I mean, how long can we have this title reign of Sami Zayn that
The one thing that really gets me, and you just said it, and this isn't me just coming at you. This is me just saying, like, in general. I noticed that since WrestleMania, some of the champions we got out of WrestleMania, like Cody, like Sammy, like Bayley, people are already sick of their title runs. And they've had the championships for 72 days. 71 days, 72 days. Because WrestleMania being 2 nights. So they've been on almost even runs. And people are already sick of it. Which really surprises me a little bit, because we've been kind of begging for Sammy to win the Intercontinental title. Now we got it.
Sure.
People are like, you know what? He hasn't really even begun his title run, though. He's faced Chad Gable, Cody Rhodes. He faced Logan Paul and AJ Styles. Hasn't even gotten a proper full title run yet. Bayley. Who's she faced so far? Piper Niven? That's it.
Naomi.
And
That's then Naomi
right.
and Tiffany in a triple threat. That was about it.
But that's my point. Is they're not even past 70. They're on their 73rd day as champions going in. And we're already sick of their title runs. But Gunther was champion for over 300 days. Roman was champion for over 1,300 days. Nobody was sick of Gunther. People just started voicing their opinion as being sick of Roman once he hit 1,200 days. But we're 72 days into their title runs and we're sick of it? Like, give it a chance.
I think that's why, though. I think with coming off 2 really long title runs with Gunther and Roman, I think that's why. Now I get it. They're nowhere near that. They're not even on 100 days yet. But I think that's why people kind of want to see some refreshers a little bit more. You know what I mean?
But look at the opponents that Sammy and Bayley and Cody have faced, opposed to what we had with Gunther starting his reign off and Roman starting his reign off. When Roman started his reign, who'd he face? He beat Braun Strowman and Bray in a triple threat to win the championship. And then his first big long feud was with Jay. Okay? Jey Uso. Gunther, he beat Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship. He faced Ricochet, I think. Ricochet didn't even get his rematch until later on, like this year. But it's still, like, give it a chance. Let those tires, at least go around the track twice. My opinion. Again, if you're sick of it, so be it. But,
I mean, it just speaks to the attention span of the modern day fan, though.
I don't know.
Their attention span is just very short, so.
I think my mindset goes into the old school way, though. Like, I'm used to seeing, champions for a year and a half. You know what I mean? And yeah, did I get used to the new school way of doing things? Like, we get a new challenger every pay-per-view, or we get a new challenger every other, or, you're defending your title on Raw and you're losing the title on Raw, and then you're getting a new challenger at the pay-per-view 2 weeks later. Like, I'm used to seeing the long-term runs and storylines and stuff like that. Like, when they got away from that, and started doing this whole, having a new challenger at every pay-per-view and, all that stuff. It was kind of like, what are we doing? And now we're going back to where you're building storylines, having long-term championship runs. But we're in the day and age of, if you're not liking a video within 10 seconds, all you have to do is scroll up. And that's it. That's it. So, I mean, would I agree with Braun Breaker winning the Intercontinental title? Yes. But I want to see them build something big with him and Sammy. I don't want to just see them go into their first match and Braun Breaker just beat him for the title. I want to see them build something. Like, we just got this nice little feud with Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. And I said it last week. I said that if Chad Gable lost, I had a feeling it wasn't over. It's over. It sucks. It's over. We're going back to this short-term thing. Come on. We're going to keep going, though. Dominic Mysterio was backstage looking for his vest. Found Liv Morgan. Liv wanted him to take the vest off of her, and Damian Priest shows up. And she ends up giving up the vest. And Priest asked Liv, can you please leave him alone? Leave the poor guy alone. I don't know if you guys have anything more to say about this. I know we're going to probably get more of this next week. But if you guys have anything to say about this, Sean, I'll let you go first.
I was saying when I was in the live for someone to play the black and yellow theme backstage when all that was going down.
Okay.
So I was like,
I wasn't in
getting a little.
You were in, so you need to reiterate for me. What are you talking about?
When that was going down, when Dom was unzipping the little thing, I was jokingly saying someone should play the black and yellow website theme.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. It was a little spicy,
I got you.
And then El Campeon, Damian Priest, walked up and was like, hey, you need to leave him alone. And she was like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want, pretty much. So it was a good segment. It's getting a little spicy, It's exciting to see where it goes. I mean, I just have a feeling Finn's going to be the one screwing everything up, but
Cam, your thoughts?
I love it. Like I said, this is the most interesting thing that Liv Morgan has done. She's kind of playing here lately. I've kind of been almost kind of comparing her to like Terry Runnels, because Terry Runnels back in the day was like, she always referred to herself as like the she-devil. That's kind of what I'm thinking of like Liv Morgan as right now. She's like the she-devil right now. She's like driving a wedge in between Judgment Day or whatever and causing all these issues. Like I said, it's great. Tonight though, it wasn't really the focus. Everybody was really just focused on, the Wyatt Six and everything like that. So, but still, it's still to me one of the best parts of Raw. It's something that I look forward to. It's very entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the show, that this is almost like a full circle thing, like with Zelina Vega. She faced Rhea Ripley for the world title. Now she's facing Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley obviously involved with Dom. Now Liv Morgan's kind of going in there. Liv Morgan is living up to what she said. She is trying to take away everything that Rhea Ripley loves. And she is doing it successfully. It's successful. And as much as it may be slightly like, some people may be annoyed to the fact that we're getting so many Judgment Day segments, it's still entertaining. Still entertaining. So, to be continued, I guess. We got a backstage segment, Karrion Kross. He was talking more about the New Day, saying that he's still, is pretty much focused on the New Day, focused on showing them, the light, the leading the way, whatever you want to say. So he challenged one of them next week to Raw. Doesn't care who it is. And I'm sitting back thinking, man, we got to wait for this challenge to be answered. Like, who's he going to face? It's going to be Xavier Woods. It's going to be Kofi Kingston. But no, we got the New Day on the screen next, right after him. And Kofi Kingston answered the challenge. Kofi Kingston said, I will be facing you next week. So we are getting Karrion Kross and Kofi Kingston next week. Oh, and by the way, Kofi Kingston taking shots, saying to Karrion Kross, dude, you haven't done nothing since you won the NXT Championship. Like, talk about taking your foot and inserting it in his below the belt area and kicking him. Like, boom. Dude. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this segment, but
Yes.
Cam, you seem like you do. Go for it.
Okay, so first of all, Karrion Kross, he's great at what he does. I like the backstage promo. Again, love Scarlett. Again, even when she's not talking, she just adds that that element to his character. Now, when the New Day, okay, first of all, this whole promo or this whole storyline has been going on for weeks now with the New Day and the Final Testament of Karrion Kross. To me, it was on the brink of getting kind of stale because Karrion is rambling about split, trying to get them to split up and stuff like that. Neither Xavier Woods nor Kofi was really flinching. It seemed like they showed solidarity through this entire thing. Now,
Yeah,
that is until this particular promo backstage. Kofi kind of stepped in, kind of cut off Woods when he was talking. And then I don't know if you caught the look on Woods' face when he did that and how he was looking at Kofi. Then they kind of shook up at the end, but the look on Woods' face was just like, why'd you do that? Like, I was still talking. You just kind of like stole my spotlight just now. So I'm like, oh, so there's a little something there. Could we possibly be getting the tease of a split of the New Day? I don't know, but I'm liking it though, because finally we're seeing just a little bit of a spark, and I like that. I definitely like that. So this was a great segment.
Sean, do you have any thoughts on Karrion Kross in the New Day?
No.
No thoughts?
No thoughts.
Nothing?
It was great. No.
What was great about it? You said it
I
was
just had
great.
no thoughts. It was great. Just had no thoughts on it,
Okay. Well, next week we're getting Karrion Kross and Kofi Kingston. So I think this is going to be a good match. I'm excited for this match. It gives me something to look forward to. I say it a lot on the Boom. I mentioned that, yeah, we talk about AEW. They set up these championship matches on Dynamite, random championship matches here and there. We've spoke about this. And I said that, I feel like sometimes they do this just to give us something to get excited about for next week. This is what WWE is giving us for next week. This is them saying, you know what? We're having a triple threat match for a qualifier for the Money in the Bank in Chad Gable, Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed. We're also going to give you Karrion Kross and Kofi Kingston. So come watch us next week. This is giving us something to be excited about. And no matter how big or how small this storyline is, it's still something to be excited about. We then get a Money in the Bank qualifying match. We got Jey Uso, Finn Balor, Rey Mysterio in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Winner goes on to Money in the Bank. And the closing moments of the match, Finn Balor hits a coup de grace onto Rey Mysterio. His pin, I was like, Finn, why would you pin like that? Because you are setting yourself up for there's Jey Uso, there's the frog splash. And he hits it. Good timing. Jey Uso hits the frog splash, pins Finn Balor, ends up winning. Jey Uso is moving on to Money in the Bank. Guys, your thoughts on this match, the main event of the night with Jey Uso winning and moving on to Money in the Bank. Oh, and then, by the way, we did get Judgment Day attack Rey Mysterio in the middle of the match. Braun Strowman came out and, helped chase down the Judgment Day. So that saga continues as well. But your thoughts on the match, Sean, we'll start with you.
For what reason? I hope Finn Balor wins a loser's last chance, whatever. Because for what reason would it have to even put Ray, Finn, and Jay all in the same match? Ray, sure, but Finn and Jay in the same match when it makes perfect sense to have Finn Balor in the ladder match, in the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's my gripe. It makes perfect sense to have Finn be Mr. Money in the Bank this year with Damian Priest as world champion. I don't understand why they put Jay over in this match. He could have been the one to go to losers leaves or win last chance, but I don't know. I just don't understand it. It's Jay Uso has no current storyline really. He comes out here and does this every week.
Well, I mean, you got to think of it. We're going to have 5 qualifying matches, and then we're going to lead up to possibly the final battle royal to see who gets in last. I agree with you. Finn Balor would have made more sense to get into this, especially if they have plans in the future of a breakdown and a dissension of the Judgment Day. But again, you have factions that are building in WWE. You have the Judgment Day. You have the LWO. 2 built factions. You have Final Testament, who's still, in a way, finding their footing. You go back, and I seen an interview this past week. I forget who it was talking about. They were talking about, the Attitude Era, and there was factions all over the place. There was. You had, DX. You had Nation of Domination. You had the Hart Foundation. You had the Corporation. You had the Ministry of Darkness. You had factions all over the place. You had the Brood. Can't forget about the Brood. You had factions all over the place. I think they're still trying to do that to an extent. To kind of give us that surprise wow factor of, okay, well, we see this group building up. Now we got to break it down. And this is how we could build a storyline. I agree with you that they could have put Finn Balor in this match. I don't see why they wouldn't put him in have him as winning the final battle royal to get in. As far as him winning Money in the Bank, I'm 50-50 on it. I want to see who else gets into this match. I do. Before I give my thought and feeling on Finn Balor winning Money in the Bank, I want to see who else gets into this match so far. Jey Uso, the momentum he has right now, minus the fact of losing his world title shot 2 PLEs ago, he's on a very big momentum push. And he's trying to prove that his whole career was a tag team. Now he's on this singles run, and he's all alone. Yeah, he has guys backing him up, but he's all alone. So he's trying to prove his ground on that. And putting him in a match like Money in the Bank, a ladder match, something that he could be very successful in, is going to speak volumes for him in his career. I still don't think he should have the main event moniker because, yeah, he's in the main event of Raw. I get that. But when he goes to the main event of PLEs, he's losing. And that's what's throwing me off with this. But Cam, your thoughts on the main event?
Man, it was a great match. I knew Ray wasn't winning. He's got too much going on right now with the LWO and Judgment Day involved. I liked the fact that I thought it was funny when Braun Strowman came out and he's like chasing all of them off, and he's like chasing JD, and you just see him at the bottom of like the hard cam, and he's just running off screen. I thought that was hilarious. The thing that kind of confused me though was, I mean, obviously I think the obvious choice to win here was Jey Uso, but the thing that confused me was like, why put him in a qualifying match if like a few weeks ago I thought he already had threw his name in the hat saying he was going to be in Money in the Bank. I thought that was kind of weird. So I was kind of confused on that, but based off that, I was like, well, obviously he's winning, because why would he do that and then have him lose? That would be even more of a head scratcher. But love the ending, pretty much with like a stacked pin almost. Yeah, but great match overall, and we'll see what happens from there. Now to what Sean had said about Finn Balor winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Right now, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense, because I feel like that would just kind of be out of the blue. Again, like I said, you have to build up Finn Balor's stock, and I don't think he has the best they've done with Finn recently in a singles run was when he had a feud with Seth when Seth was still world champion. That was I think the best Finn has looked in a singles role in a while.
Yeah.
And right now he's solely just a member of Judgment Day. And I don't think you need to see another member of Judgment Day hold the briefcase. We saw that last year. So that's kind of like more or less rinse and repeat. So I would like to see somebody new win the briefcase this year. So but overall, great match. And obviously Jey Uso was a shoe-in to win, I think.
I mean, again, to what Sean said with Finn winning the briefcase, I could see it if they start the whole dissension of the Judgment Day. But right now, they're running strong on Raw. I mean, freaking 60% of the show is Judgment Day. It is. Yeah. And the ratings are phenomenal for Raw. We haven't seen ratings for Raw like this in a long time. So they're going to keep doing what they're doing. They're going to try and make their show better. And the Judgment Day just seems to be doing it right now. And I think the key factor is not any of the members in the Judgment Day. It's Liv Morgan.
There you go.
It's Liv Morgan.
And that's the thing too, because you just reminded me, I was going to say this as well. The backstage segment before this match, Finn had kind of alluded to winning the championship, and he was like, and Damian had asked him like, hey, if you get into the Money in the Bank briefcase and you happen to win this match, where's your head at? He's kind of trying to see like, he doesn't want a surprise cashing on him. And Finn was like, well, I got to be honest with you, like if I'm planning to win this Money in the Bank briefcase and cash in and win the world title, everyone in the room just froze like, what? He's like, nah, I'm just kidding. So again, I think they're planting the seeds of that dissension there. So I think you could still possibly get Damian and Finn again may be like the Zelina Vega thing. He might not have to go through Money in the Bank and hold the briefcase to get a world title shot against Damian. So yeah.
Well, that does it for Monday Night Raw in Corpus Christi on June 17th, 2024. Gentlemen, as you know, I always pull off some new stuff from the internet. There's a few things that I want to bring up real quick. One of them is basically a, kind of a not breaking news, but something to just announce real quick, something that I came across that I want to bring up. I have two things that I kind of want to get your thoughts on real quick. Number one, the first one, it's a bloodbath. Okay. This has to do with WWE adding a PLE to their list this year. They are focused on adding a PLE in October because they do not have a PLE for October. They are looking to bring back the pay-per-view Bad Blood. Now, Bad Blood took place in 1997, the infamous first ever Hell in a Cell match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, and the reveal of Kane. They also did Bad Blood in 2003 and 2004. They're looking to do this pay-per-view sometime in October. I think they're focused around the beginning of October, and their site is Atlanta, Georgia, is where they're looking to do it. So that has been revealed over the news of the internet. But my first thoughts that I want to get from you guys real quick, the first one is called Rap Battle. Well, second one called Rap Battle. Max Caster from AEW is trying to convince Tony Khan to book a match between the Elite and the Acclaimed, but the Acclaimed would have a special tag team partner, and that is one Kanye West.
Oh my God.
So, simple question to you guys. Would you like to see Kanye West in the ring, in AEW, in a match with the Acclaimed against the Elite? Sean, I'll let you go first.
I mean, he showed up to a random wrestling event in Tokyo. It was so random. I don't know. It just shocked me when I saw it. I was like, the fuck is he doing at a wrestling event in Tokyo? This man is so fucking random at times. Like, to the point that it's not unbelievable that it might happen. Like, would I like to see it? 50-50.
Okay.
It could be entertaining. It could also be a shit show, knowing Kanye. But yes, for the sake of entertainment, I think it'll be fucking hilarious that they use Kanye. So yes, I think
I mean, we have seen the likes of big superstars get involved in match like Shaquille O'Neal, Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone. We've even seen Snoop Dogg get involved into a match. MGK got involved in some stuff. Drew Carey got involved in the Royal Rumble. And we've seen Lawrence Taylor take on Bam Bam Bigelow in the main event at WrestleMania. So it would not surprise me.
I just hope Kanye would do a better splash than fucking Snoop Dogg did.
Well, I mean, we'll have to see. But Cam, your thoughts? Kanye teaming up with the Acclaimed against the Elite.
I mean, not really, but I think it would be hilarious to see him bust out a move and call it the Yeezy Plex. I think that'd be freaking hilarious.
The Yeezy kick.
That I think that'd be hysterical. But other than that, I mean, not really. But I mean, it could pop a rating. I mean, good for AEW, I guess, for that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it could. It could. I mean, I don't see him really being in the ring too long. I could see him probably going in, doing a move or two, and getting the pinfall. I could see that. But as far as longevity, like we see with a Logan Paul, or even with what's his name? Oh, who the hell was that?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Yes, Bad Bunny. Thank you, Bad Bunny. I don't see it. I don't see the longevity in the ring. 2 minutes, move or two. Get the pin, get the win, move on. Our next one is Mama Mella. Now, this one isn't obvious. This is about Carmella. She was on a podcast, and she mentioned that she would love to come back to wrestling, but right now she is healing from some injury. She has 2 herniated discs and a couple other injuries that she is tending to right now because she was in labor with her child for 60 hours. 60.
Jesus Christ.
She ended up accumulating 2 herniated discs in her back and a couple other injuries that she is healing from. So it's going to be a while until we see Carmella in the ring. That is if she even decides to return, because she's loving being a mom. She is. And hey, don't blame her. She's a former world champion. So, I mean, has she accomplished everything in wrestling that she wanted to? Don't know. But if she did, I mean, if she were set to retire, she's had a pretty good career. But my main question is how much are you guys really thinking about Carmella coming back? Like, and if she were to come back, where would you see her fitting in with everything that's going on right now in Raw, SmackDown, and let's even include NXT? Cam, we'll start with you.
That's tough because the landscape has changed so much, especially with call-ups now and new faces on the roster, changing things up for Raw and SmackDown. I don't know really where I see her fitting in. Honestly, and this may sound strange, but I kind of would want to see her in NXT because I feel like she could help out. She could help out that next generation.
Yeah.
I can even see her as champion. Maybe not the women's champion, but maybe they have a women's North American title down there. That'd be kind of cool to see her have that. That would add prestige to that championship, having somebody like her be champion. So that'd be kind of cool too. But right now on the main roster, I just don't know. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
So that's a tough spot.
Yeah, I mean, you have Bayley and Nia Jax having their feud leading up to SummerSlam. You have Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega building their feud up, and then the women's tag team titles. I mean, she wouldn't even have a tag partner. So it would be a little tough. I could see her going to NXT as well. I can. Or with the crossover with the likes of TNA. Why not? But first, she's got to get back to health and make sure she's 100% to get back in the ring. But Sean, your thoughts on Carmella? Are you thinking about her right now coming back in the ring? And where do you think she would fit in if she were to come back?
I'm really not thinking about her at all, really, coming back at this moment. Where she fits in, I don't know. The landscape since she's been gone has drastically changed. So I have no idea, to be honest. So
Okay. Guys, one thing we forgot to do was give our grades for Raw tonight. One thing we forgot to do. So real quick, Sean, your grade for Raw tonight.
y'all know me. The past few weeks, I've been giving these low grades.
We know.
Right?
That's an understatement.
I'm gonna shock y'all. I'm gonna give Raw tonight an A. It was that good to me. The
Okay.
Wyatt Six,
Good job, Sean.
Otis, just stuff like that. Seth Rollins coming back. Fantastic.
Cam, you're great on Raw.
I am going to give it an A as well. Obviously not a perfect show, but it was definitely entertaining. The Wyatt Six coming in, I think that was perfect. Me being a horror fan, a horror fanatic myself, I love it. This is basically my two, passion for horror films, passion for professional wrestling, all in one. So they did a fantastic job. Everybody that was involved, production, crew, lighting, whatever. Bravo.
I agree. Your grade. Your grade, though. You didn't give a grade.
Yeah, I said A.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't hear.
You're good.
I gotta give Raw a B plus. I do. Seth Rollins coming back, challenging for the world title, getting his rematch. Love it. The Otis turn on Chad Gable, perfect. The Wyatt Six thing, perfect. Some of the stuff on the show was kind of, kind of like, okay, I get it why we're doing this, but I give it a B plus. I do, because there was some stuff on the show that I was kind of not too into.
Keen on.
Yeah. So B plus. Before we close it out on this day, real quick. On this day in professional wrestling, 2007. We're gonna go back to 2007. TNA Slammiversary was held in Nashville, the Nashville Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee, in front of 3,500 fans on pay-per-view. And it was main evented by Kurt Angle outlasting Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Chris Harris, and Christian Cage in the King of the Mountain match to win the vacated TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Also, in 2012, WWE had their No Way Out pay-per-view. It was held at the Izod Center in East Rutherford, New Jersey, in front of 10,000 fans. And that was main evented by John Cena defeating The Big Show in a steel cage match. With the win, general manager John Laurinaitis was fired. And if John Cena had lost, he would have been fired. But after the match, Cena put Laurinaitis through a Spanish announce table and with an attitude adjustment, and the show went off the air. And the last one is that's it. That's the two that I have for you for this in this day in professional wrestling. So, gentlemen, your socials are on the bottom. Sean's is on the bottom. Make sure to head over to Sean's social medias. Hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on for Sean. Sean, what do you want the people to know? And this time, don't reveal what you're with your storylines, man. I'm telling you, if you reveal that, I'm telling you, hold on. Psh, people, earmuffs. Sean, if you reveal what you're doing in your storylines, you're going to ruin the storylines. People aren't going to tune in. So you don't want to tell people what you're doing. So just leave out what
We're on to new ones, so it's all good,
But Sean's social medias are on the bottom. Make sure to hit that follow and earmuffs off. Sean's socials are on the bottom. Make sure to follow him, subscribe, turn the notifications on. Sean, what do you want the people to know?
Rebellion Wrestling every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or not Eastern Standard Time, sorry, Pacific Standard Time, West Coast Time.
At 6 p.m. on the East.
6 p.m. on the East Coast. New title belts were unveiled, new designs, as I say. We do have a brand new championship that's still vacated called the High Stakes Championship. That will be one at the next pay-per-view coming up very soon, Beers, Bottles, and Bangs. It's our kind of like 4th of July kind of pay-per-view.
Fancy.
We also have a qualifier matches going on for the Golden Opportunity briefcase, which is also kind of like our Money in the Bank. And it should be fun. Wolfpack still a thing. We're still running the show. And find out if anybody could take us down or not. It's a great time. People love to hate us, so
hold on. So this is a challenge put out for people to bring you down.
It's we're kind of like the elite in the ways right now, kind of being dicks and running the show and winning championships.
Cam, I think we can do it.
You think
Make
you
sure to head
can?
over to Sean's socials and hit that follow, subscribe, turn the notifications on. Cam's is on the bottom. Make sure you're doing the same thing. Follow, subscribe, turn the notifications on. Cam's Wrestling Corner. Great videos. Cam, I told you, I keep sharing, man. I'm making sure I'm doing it now. Every time I check it, like, share. It's getting done. But what else do you want the people to know other than your social medias that are sitting on the bottom here?
Well, as Mike always says, you can find me right here every single Monday night after Monday Night Raw with these two gentlemen with another edition of the Table Spot. You can find me here Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite. We have a very stacked week of professional wrestling tonight. Raw was amazing. You got NXT tonight. There's another stacked Tuesday night NXT. Tune into the NXT on Tap with Scals tomorrow night, immediately following NXT. And then, like I said, Wednesday night, I'm excited for Wednesday night Dynamite. Dynamite, I think it should be good as well. Got Forbidden Door coming up the end of this month.
First 30 minutes of Dynamite commercial free.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And that's going to be fantastic, I think. And then, of course, you can find me on our sister page on Off the Top Media after Friday Night SmackDown every single Friday night on Friday Night Review on Off the Top Media. And then, next week, I wasn't going to be here, but I'm going to try to be here immediately following Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is here back in my backyard. So I definitely will be here and to give you guys my live experience. So that should be very, very exciting as well. So yeah, check me out.
Yeah. So just to remind people what Cam just said, we are going to have a special start time. We usually start at 11:10. We're going to start at 11:30 next week. Give Cam some time to get home, get settled in. That way we could start the Table Spot. So a little bit of a special start time next week. But to make sure that you have the full crew of the Table Spot here next week, we're going to give Cam time to get home, and he can give us the in-depth, in-arena viewpoint of things. So with reacting to Raw after it happens. So, but yeah, make sure you're going to follow Cam and everything that he's doing. My socials are on the bottom: Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch, Linktree, Metal Mike 714. That's where you can find me all over the place. So go type it in, Metal Mike 714. If you want to see me on the network, like Cam mentioned, on the Table Spot here every Monday night after Monday Night Raw. Normally 11:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, next week 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because with Cam getting home from the show. But then you can catch me every Wednesday night with Cam and Phil on the Boom right after AEW Dynamite, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Sunday mornings, switching it up Sunday morning. Normally I'm on at night. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Rivet City Red Zone with myself and the Candyman Johnny H. As we talk everything professional football, we're going to be reacting to the UFL Championship game that happened yesterday. Great game. A great ending to the season, the first season of the UFL, and we are going to talk everything in the world of professional football. We did our predictions last week for our 2.0 predictions. We have a fun show planned for this week. So tune in. Let's have some fun. Let's talk some football. Other than that, you can catch my articles on Last Word on Sports, lwsports.com. I'm working on my new article. Should have it submitted by tomorrow, and hopefully, fingers crossed, because it doesn't always happen. Sometimes it gets kicked back, and then I have to redo things. Hopefully it gets published, and it's out by Wednesday. So, other than that, gentlemen, you have anything else for the class?
No, that's it.
All right, just remind everybody, head over to River City Radio on Off Top Media's Twitch and YouTube channels. Hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on. Check out all the great content going on. Tomorrow night, NXT on tap with Scals, Phil, and Jax right after NXT. Wednesday night is the Boom after AEW Dynamite. And stay tuned for all the other content going on throughout the network. With that being said, that's the Alpha Wolf, Sean. That's the man with the best beer in the business, Cam. My name is Metal Mike. Be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Take care of each other. Be patient with each other. Remember, the world is not moving as fast as you think. Until next time, deuces.